Welcome to once again with In the Hot Seat with Deborah Fennella and Tom Bryant.
Hello.
Good evening. Now, we're really excited to have the amazing reality TV fashion presenter, multi-award winner, host, red carpet events, charity author, model, CEO of the AATT Model Diaries UK. And I must admit, this lady, I don't know where she gets the time because she's so busy and multi-talented, the lovely Deborah J. Kelly. Good evening, Deborah. How are you?
Oh, I'm really good. And I'm really looking forward to this interview as well. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome, Deborah. Thank you so much, because I know you've been very busy today on the film set and acting as well. Thank you so much for fitting us in today. Bless you. Now, you're a multi-talented lady. I don't know where you get the time to do everything. And I thought I was a busy lady, but you seem to be even more busy than I am. So congratulations on all the wonderful things that you do. Now, I'd like to go back to the beginning with your path and how, it actually originally sort of like started. So please, can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, of course. Really good question. So I've always worked in media since I was 17, and I've had this passion that has just never, ever ended, and it will continue. And I kind of went into newspapers, then I progressed into radio, then into TV, then I had my own advertising agency. But I was always kind of in the background. I did some voicing of commercials, things like that, but I was really essentially in the background, coordinating everything and making sure that everything went to plan. And then I don't know, it was like a fluke, really. I was doing this event and somebody didn't turn up.
Oh, really?
And they kind of, this is like this, I've heard this so many times with people, and they threw me in at the deep end. And I did really well. And I thought, you know what, maybe I should actually be in front of the camera rather than behind the camera. And oh my goodness, I'm sorry, everything's bleeping here now. You don't get any messages all day, and then you go online and suddenly you get bleep, bleep, bleep.
That's because everyone's watching you,
Deborah. We're going to say, guess where you are, right?
You are live.
I think so, because I posted it to say I was, so that's the thing. And really, it happened much later in life for me, because I was always ambitious and I knew where I wanted to be. I knew what I had to do. I had the drive. And then I guess maybe 40 plus, I started to be in front of the camera, and I really realized that I was natural in front of the camera. It didn't affect me in any way. And, that I could just, because this is the issue, isn't it, with a lot of people, I could just be exactly myself and walk out on a stage of thousands of people and see them as my family. This is something unique, I think. I don't think everybody sees this, but it's about making friends with those people in the audience and resonating with them and understanding them and giving them the show that they expect. And so I mean, it's been a long journey. I'm 55 now, and I guess maybe it started from 40, and I still have huge amounts of business and people contacting me, which I'm really thrilled about, because I know that, when you get to 50, quite often a lot of ladies feel forgotten and they're replaced by the up and coming kind of bigwigs that are 30 plus. So I'm really thrilled and humbled that I still get so much work.
Oh, bless you. You know what they say, though, Debs, don't you? They say life begins at 50. And I'm actually 50 as well, but in my mind, I'm 27.
Congratulations.
But I think, like you say, it's really important nowadays is to stop all age discrimination, because I do believe that no matter how old you are, you still can achieve and fulfill your goals. And it's just having that self-belief in yourself, knowing that if you set your mind to it, you could do anything.
Yeah.
And I think you are a pure example of that, like myself. You know, I will give anything a go myself, you know, and try many different things like you do. And I think you are a true inspiration to the world and do amazing work. And I'm so proud of you, Debs, because I say you're not only a model, you're a presenter, you also a makeup artist, and you work in the beauty industry and also train people all about, you know, the beauty industry and makeup artists and also cosmetics and stuff like that.
Acting as well.
Acting, you're also an actress as well. You dance, you do loads. So you're just such a busy lady, as well as a radio host and TV presenting. And also today you've been on film set as well. So you do tend to sort of multitask. So how do you manage to fit so much in your day? Obviously, do you find that, like, say, for instance, one day you're like acting, the next day you're presenting, like my past seems to go? Is that how you sort of plan your sort of like day-to-day life?
Well, I think, you know, sometimes you're juggling, aren't you? You know,
yes.
you have to juggle
I do.
I'd say so.
And I think, you know, there has to be a passion in you to do these things. So I'm at an age now where I don't have children, so I call all my projects babies. They're like my babies, really. They really are. And so the thing is, it depends what you see in your work. If you're doing a 9-to-5 job and you don't really have a passion for it, then it's going to be quite difficult for you, and you get home and you just want to forget about it, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, I've always called my work playing. I've been very lucky, and playing means that I'm having a really good time.
Yes.
And I've been lucky to do that. You know, sometimes it's quite serious. And I really running the beauty school, and we're VTCT, and we've got like inspectors and all of this. So it's really serious with paperwork and things like that. But meeting people, to me, is the greatest gift that I have. I meet some awesome people. They're amazing. And the thing is, they just inspire me all of the time. I get to meet people from every culture, every creed, and I love to hear their stories. And it's an inspiration for me. And I don't think I'll ever get fed up with that. So for me, I like, for instance, my red carpet hosting and my presenting, I would very much call part of my social life. Because I get to meet so many people, and they're amazing, and they know me, and I walk in, and again, you know, I keep mentioning family, but this is how I really feel about it. And it's very much the same with model diaries and with acting and all of that kind of thing. Because I think, Deborah, just referring to you, you know, you said I'm 50 now. I think it takes a long time to find out who you really are.
That's so true, isn't it? It's finding your true self and your true purpose in this world as well, doesn't it? Like you say.
And not to be afraid to express that. So I don't go out onto the stage thinking that I'm a 30-year-old. I relate to all of the models, and they're beautiful. I know them. I love them to bits. I don't want to be like them. I've been through my life, and now I'm at a stage where I'm experienced, and I can take them into the journey that I've been in, and almost like mentor them and support them and encourage them as well. Because of course, you know, when you're young, you get so many setbacks, and you're very, very aware of that. It upsets you, and sometimes it puts you back, because you think, if somebody said no to me, well, should I forget it or should I try again? And when you get to 50, you then say to people, do you know what? You keep going. Don't take any notice of what people are saying to you, because you will achieve it if you have that in your heart as your dream. And that's the message that I kind of want to take back, actually, to all these young girls who are getting knocked back, because we take it so seriously. When I was young, I used to get so upset about it.
Which is so true, isn't it? Like you say, Debs, there's a lot of rejection in this industry, but it's really important not to take it personally. And you pick yourself up and you dust yourself back down, unfortunately, Papa.
As the studio falls to pieces, bear with me while I put it back together again.
That's quite funny. But like you say, Debs, it is a case of picking yourself back up and dusting yourself back down and think, no, I can do this. I am going to do this. And, you know, even if they one door may close, then a new door may open with an even bigger and better opportunity. So, you know, I think very much same as you, never give up, you know, on your dreams, keep going, because eventually the right door will open up for you when you least expect it. But it's determination and never giving up, and also confidence as well, and realizing that you are the key, which is what you do, Debs, don't you?
I 100% agree. You know, everybody's going to knock you back. And there's always reasons. There's always things you're going to look at. You're going to say, I'm too old. I've got wrinkles. You know, I'm fat. I've got like belly fat. I've menopaused, etc., etc. There's always going to be a reason why you shouldn't do something. At the end of the day, you should just go for it, because life is short.
It is, Debs. Like they say, live each day as your last, and you get the best out of every single day. And you certainly do live every day to the fullest with everything that you do, because you're also part of Panache Global Entertainment Awards, same as myself, and I know I'm performing and singing, and you're actually going to be hosting the red carpet and presenting the awards in October the 29th for the Clayton Park Hotel, which I know that you're really excited, as well as I am, for Princess Peace, bless her, who's the founder of Panache Global Entertainment. She's an amazing, beautiful earth angel with a heart of gold.
Is lovely.
And we're really excited about that, aren't we? Because you've been part of Panache for a little while now, haven't you, Debs?
Long time.
And you've also won a few awards as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I think I've supported her for about 4 or 5 years now. And what happened was, I think somebody wrote into them, because during COVID, when we had lockdown and we literally couldn't do anything, could we? I actually decided that rather than moping around and feeling sorry for myself, I would actually create Model Diaries UK, which ended up being a bestseller. And I'm really proud of it. And I'm working on series 2 now. And, you know, this was about really bringing together people who had really forgotten who they were. They weren't able to get out. I mean, it was just a really terrible time, and there was no events or anything like that. And so it was a series of photo shoots, Model Diaries, that was really, we had to socially distance. We had to make sure that we weren't breaking any rules. We had to make sure that they were safe. They had to be temperature checked, you know, all of this kind of stuff. And it was very difficult. So I'm getting a Heroes Award actually at Panache, which I'm thrilled about. And every single award that I get, you know, I posted something on Facebook the other day, because I'm getting a lot of awards lately, and I just wanted people to understand that I'm still embracing it, and I'm thrilled at every single award that I get, because every single award is a recognition of somebody who is older in the industry that embraces culture. And so it's never going to tire me. You know, I'm always going to be really humbled that somebody has actually recognised me in the industry.
Oh, bless you. To say,
just looking at that saucy picture.
It's quite saucy, everyone. It's lovely.
that was Take a Break magazine.
Oh, was it Take a Break? Oh, wow.
Really?
It was. And because I was a beauty queen at 50. I got divorced. I was terribly upset, as everybody is when they get divorced. And somebody said, you know, into this pageant, and I did, and I won it. And
did you? So congratulations.
That was a pretty saucy picture.
Now, this one that we're actually showing, Debs, of you is actually of your red carpet celebrity beauty range, isn't it? So please tell us a little bit more about that, and what gave you the idea to actually create your own, you know, brand as well, please.
Well, I run a beauty school, and I've had it since 2003, and I was, you know, using other people's products, and I was teaching about holistic ingredients, things that weren't very good to put onto your skin. And I was finding that a lot of the products, or the product ranges that I was using, had very bad ingredients in them. So that set me to decide, it was 5 years ago, to get a laboratory organised to actually sort out some products that would be vegan, because if the minute you get something that says anti-aging, it's always going to have a baddie in it, baddie ingredient.
Yes,
because holistically, we can put stuff on our skin, but the only active things that we're going to get, really, we have to have a baddie in it. So it was about looking at things like parabens, preservatives, and products that weren't very nice. You see, a lot of people say, oh, I'm vegan, but then they're using a product that's got animal in it, and they don't know that there's a product or an ingredient in there that's animal. So there's a lot of misconception, and they use all these different words so that you don't really understand what they are. So the reason that I started my product range was to use it in the Angel Academy of teaching and training, and to offer it to students who were then starting up their spas and salons and really wanted products that were as safe as they could be in terms of ingredients. And I did my launch, I'm trying to think now, I think it was nearly 3 years ago. I did the celebrity birthday bash, and it was awesome. And I got a lot of ambassadors involved, a lot of people that tried the products and said they were great, and they do really work. I mean, obviously I'd say that, right, because they're my products, but they really do work. And we had all sorts of trials at the laboratory in Sweden, and it was shown to bring anti-aging. There were certain percentages and so forth, and at the end of the day, they're probably, I would say, the best products as far as I'm concerned, because I'm very allergic. I get a lot of allergies. And I used to use the products, and oh God, it was terrible. So they're the best products for me in terms of what I can get out of my products and know that they are good when I'm putting them on my face. And that's a whole new story, because there's so many bad products out there that literally are preserving people, and they're passing away. This is in the journal for the British Beauty Association. And their face
yes, that's so true, isn't it?
They're decomposing, but their face is staying intact. Goodness knows how they found that out. It's because they're putting too many preservatives onto their faces. So, I'm old school,
and it's
anyway.
Quite scary, though, isn't it? It's quite scary, though, Des, when you think about some of the bad things that they are putting in these products, because some of them can even cause cancer. I know parabens can cause cancer.
Absolutely.
And they still put them in a lot of products, even hair products as well. People don't realise until they investigate it. So with regards to, obviously, your beauty products, what sort of, key ingredient would you say stops the anti-aging that is more on a more sort of holistic sort of level? You with me? Do you use like essential oils, for instance, in it? I mean, obviously you don't want to give away the key ingredient because, you don't mind. Okay.
No, I don't.
Because some people
I'm actually allergic to perfume, so I couldn't use perfume in my products. So all of the scent in my products are aromatherapy, because I literally can't. So I've never used any perfumes, because to me they might come up in a rash. So I've always used those. But you've got your anti-aging. You've got like the Mattocks, which is a real amazing one. You've got hyaluronic acid, and they're very well known. And so I've used these mixes, and vitamin C and lots of different serums. So I've used these mixes, but I've not put parabens in them. I've not put carcinogenic products in them. So they're as natural as they can be, and they have a sell-by date. So if you don't use them within a year, I think it's a little bit less actually, my products are just in the cupboard there, then they would go off. So if you buy a product and it's got 5 years on its sell-by date, and you know that actually is not a good product.
Yeah, it's pumped full of stuff that keeps it going, doesn't it?
It certainly does, Deb. So where can people actually purchase your products, Debs, as well?
Well, I've got my website, which is celebrityredcarpetskincare.com, and I've got a shop on there, so people can purchase them online. And they can also contact me. So as part of my training, when we train people in all different courses, which, as I say, we've been doing since 2003, they use the products and they love them so much that they actually, end up stocking them. So yeah, so we're in quite a few salons. We were going to go into the mainstream, so there was Selfridges were looking at the products at one stage, but then I felt it would just be a conveyor belt, and I would just be producing product, and it would take over because I have so many projects on the go. I really don't want to get into a situation where my only thing is providing these products and forgetting really about the whole kind of quality of it and about who I am in the industry as well.
Yes. And how much are the products sort of like, ranging from, Debs, please?
Well, I do wholesale for them. So most of the prices are for people buying wholesale, so they can buy, 2, 3, 4, 5 products. So they range. Yeah, they're very, very reasonable, and it's not my aim to package something up like creme de la mer. I'm going to get into trouble now, but they can package up, they can package up hyaluronic acid and put it in a bottle for 350 quid. But hyaluronic acid is hyaluronic acid, right? So where do we get those prices from? And so for me, it's about getting out there and obviously offering prices that people can afford. So they're all affordable. They start from £15. I think my top product, which is amazing, it's stem cell technology, which is the way now. So this is all about encouraging your stem cells to stay as they were when you were younger. And that my top product is £35 and lost the month.
That's very reasonable, Debs, isn't that?
Yeah, I need.
Is this something you do? You just do this? I'll say this because I'm representing the male species here. Are your products purely at the moment aimed at women? If they are, is there any way you'd look towards sort of unisex skincare for men as well? Is that something you would?
No, I have a men's range.
You do? Oh,
yeah, I have a men's range, and they're masculine. With the scents that I spent a long time doing this, and so I have a men's range as well, because men now are becoming so much more aware of looking after themselves than they ever were before. It's just looking after their skin and being much more aware, actually, because I think we live in a society now with so much cosmetic surgery and so much pressure, and you've got Instagram showing like all these flawless people, which of course they aren't, it's all been edited, but so I think there's this pressure on people, and I think skincare has never been so huge.
Definitely. Great.
And also, Debs, moving on from the skincare, with regards to everything else that you do, and also with the makeup, I also heard from Tom tonight that you did actually appear on Towie as well. So please tell us how that opportunity came about.
I did. Well, I've been on there 5 times, but it's
have you? Oh wow!
I knew them, and so they just approached me and said, "Look, can we use your school?" I said yes. They used it for 5 different shoots, and then they asked for a 6th and a 7th, and then I just said no, and I moved on from that, just because they kind of come in and take over, and there's loads of them. There's like 20 or 30 of them in your house or in your area.
Yes, it's a lot of people, isn't it?
They're all milling about, and you've got TV screens, lots of them, because they're watching when they're filming, and it's scripted and everything else.
It's a bit like Big Brother, where they're like everywhere looking at you.
It just goes on for hours and hours, and I just thought, out of they come in for the day, and they would start at say 8 o'clock in the morning and finish at 8 at night, and out of that we would get 2 minutes footage, possibly even less.
No.
So
really, after 12 hours shooting. Gosh, that's hardly anything. I mean, I've been on film set for 12 hours, and they've got more than 2 minutes footage.
Yeah. Is it constant retakes and everything like that, I suppose? Yeah.
Well, it is. It's they film so much, and then out of it they just edit a small part, a very small part. And so it was meaning that, you know, they were coming and we couldn't teach and we couldn't do other projects. But it was, I mean, they're lovely people. What can I say? You know, I love all of the Towie lot, although going back now, because I haven't done anything recently and I don't watch it, to be fair, but I'm going back to Gemma Collins, Chloe Sims. So these were the times, and Bobby is gorgeous. And they it was
keep in
fun.
contact. Do you still keep in contact with them as well?
Yeah.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I still know them, and I've done quite a lot of filming here, actually. We've been really lucky. We've had a lot of interest, and the Angel Academy, of course, went into the big time because we did Ashley Banjo's Secret Street Crew. We're going back a long time now.
Wow.
Oh, did you? Wow.
Yeah, we were the beauticians, and he basically approached me and said, look, can you put a group together, beauticians? And I put a group together, and they taught us to street dance, and that sort of put the Angel Academy on the map, really. And it was very tongue-in-cheek, it was funny, it was reality, which I love, because I don't know about you, Deborah, but my sort of best thing really is reality, where I can be me and I haven't got to say something, although of course you know, when you're acting you have to play a part. So I could just be me. And yeah, so it was really good fun, and I thought, well, should I or shouldn't I do it? And I always like to make sure that I have the right image portrayed for who I am, and that it is, you know, somewhat classy and mature and kind and that kind. So I didn't want to be portrayed, because sometimes television can do that, and all of a sudden they edit something and you end up looking completely different.
Yes,
you really are.
Whereas when it's live, like you say, like we are today, you know, what you see is exactly what's happening. We are live in the studio and everyone's watching us across social media, you know, which is wonderful. You know, so I'd like to sort of go back as like a little girl growing up. Did you always want to sort of follow this path? You know, because normally when you're a child, you sort of think, well, when I grow up, I want to be, you know, say for instance, an actress or a singer, or you know, a TV presenter or a hairdresser. So going back to when you was a little girl, did you aspire to go down the path that you actually are now in the TV, film, music, entertainment and modelling industry? And also you're an author as well, aren't you? Bless you. So did you aspire this path from a child, would you say, or did it happen later on in life?
I think I always wanted to be in media. I just didn't know where I wanted to stand. And at 17 years old, I went in as a tea girl for a newspaper, and then I think it was about a year later I owned 70% of it.
Did you?
And so because I'd always had a real passion, and I think if you know where you want to be and you've got a real passion for something, then I think you're going to get there. And so I worked literally 24/7 to get where I wanted to get. Loads of people are watching your show, by the way. I thought I'd tell you. Anyway, because I've got loads of people contacting me. Is that
that's fantastic. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello. So I
Hi,
did
everybody.
that, and then I went over to launch the sister newspaper. I was very young, and so I was editing it and so forth. So I think this kind of happened at a very, very young age, and it was something that I always wanted to do. I think actually the red carpet and the fashion presenting came much later on, and I don't think that's really, but I think it's more that because I was working my way up in media, I really was looking at what I was achieving, where I was going, and not looking at the other side of the fence. And it wasn't until I got offered to do that I actually looked at being in front of the camera rather than behind the camera. So I think it's just about opportunities and about knowing as well. You know, it's the more people I get to know, the more people, the more I get involved in every single part of the industry. Before, because I was focused on one part of it, and I knew that. Do you see what I mean? So I think all of this comes really with experience and with knowing people, because if you know the right people, that's it. You're right there. It's getting to know the right people that can get you into those places.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all about networking. I mean, I'm a true believer. It's who you know in this world. Definitely. And also helping and supporting one another as well. I mean, it's a wonderful pathway. It's not easy, but it's all about, you know, determination, never giving up, but supporting each other as well along the way. And everything that you do is all under the same umbrella in the entertainment and the media industry. And say every day is different with you, isn't it? And you live a very blessed life, as I would say, and you do some amazing work. And you've also been raising a lot of money for charity as well. So congratulations. And, you know, tell us a little bit about the charity work that you've done, because you've even also sponsorship for the homeless kids, Southend Hospital, Indian premature children. You purchased an incubator. You've also done some charity fundraising for Marie Curie, British Heart Foundation, PDSA, British Red Cross, RSPCA. I mean, that's just to name a few, Deb. So thank you so much for all of the charity work that you do, because you're very compassionately, bless you.
I just feel that having an upbringing that I've had, which of course is not the same as everybody else, I think that I have to be very careful how I say, but I think that I can relate to people, every person, and I think I have a huge amount of compassion. So if somebody says something to me, I can kind of get myself onto their wavelength and understand exactly what they're feeling. And that's why I think that or what makes me such a good red carpet host and a presenter. Because like I was saying before, I can walk onto a stage and really resonate with everybody that's there. And this is, a lot of people have said this to me, and it's made me think about it, because I just do it naturally before. And they say, you know, how do you do it? You just, I notice how you change for each different person that you would talk to. You'd relate to them in a certain way, and that might involve being different, you know, talking in a different way. And I think I just do it naturally, because my whole thing is I've had quite a lot happen in my life, and I guess really I don't really want anybody else to have to go through what I went through, because it was a very difficult time. And so I think sometimes out of sadness, out of illness, I think compassion grows, and the way that you look at people, because you've experienced something yourself, means that you can understand that person more. And I think that's where I am.
Yeah, I'm a true believer in that, because like they say, first you've got to walk a mile and another man shoot when another man walks, don't they, Deborah?
Yeah, and so
sorry, a little bit frozen.
Hello.
You got a little bit frozen then. It must be the internet.
I can't see.
Sorry. Hello. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So what was the last thing you said?
Sorry, it must be the internet connection, Deb. I was basically saying, like, you know, I often say to people, in order to understand another, first you've got to walk a mile in another man's shoes, and then you can be more compassionate and empathetic towards each individual as well. But kindness is the way forwards, isn't it? It's all about being kind to one another and making a difference in the world and spreading more kindness everywhere and eradicating judgment and hate. You know, there's so much disharmony still in the world, and the more kindness that we share amongst each other within our communities, our families, our friends, and just those less fortunate than ourselves, we can all make a difference in this world. And you do the same as me. You know, I'm very much about helping and caring for people and helping them, being a humanitarian. And you are also a humanitarian yourself, aren't you?
I 100% agree with you, Deborah. And the thing is, but we have to appreciate that not everybody is the same. And this is where I think my innocence made me really grow up quickly, because I thought people thought the same as me, but of course they don't. And I love people, and I always see the good in them rather than the bad in people. I never see the negative. I always see, because everybody has something good in them, but not everybody. which I've come. Pardon? Oh, it's frozen.
Even those that do bad things, you know, it's all about forgiveness, isn't it? And I believe those that do bad things, you know, underneath there's still a good person there somewhere.
Yes.
It's forgiving one another and also understanding what's going on for that person at the moment in time, why they're behaving and acting that particular way.
Yes.
You know, I mean, being a Reiki master myself, it is all about peace is the answer at the end of the day, you know,
yes.
and showing that compassion for each and every one of us and praying for those that do the bad things. How's the world going to change if we don't pray for those that do the bad things and try and look at things, you know, from a different perspective? And, you know, lead that positive example and shining that light forwards to encourage others to do the same, isn't that?
Yeah, absolutely. But I think also, you know, when you get to my age as well, or maybe your age as well, and it keeps sticking, I hope you can hear me, that it's also about looking at who you have around you and being discerning about that. And knowing that there are people that will lift you, and there will also be people that could bring you down. And it's not that we don't. It's not that we don't think well wishes to everybody, but if we want to succeed, then we have to look at who we have around us, because this is exactly a representation of who you are and where you are going. And it took me a while to realise that, you know,
I totally agree. Yes.
Yeah. But it's just like, it's just,
and I think also you do build that circle of trust in around you, Debs, don't you? Because you have those people around you that support you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can now. Yeah, I mean, I'm so blessed.
Can you hear us, Debbie?
I can. Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, honey.
No problem.
Okay. So the thing is, I've got the most amazing. Yeah, I can. I've got the most amazing people around me. I'm so lucky. But I also have people that reach out to me all the time. You know, even now as I'm speaking to you, there's just 2 people that have reached out to me. And the thing is, the way that I represent myself, I have an image. But it doesn't mean that I don't struggle like everybody else. I haven't worked for 18 months because of COVID. You know, I still have to pay a mortgage. I don't have someone supporting me. And I think sometimes people look at the image and they don't actually understand what's going on behind the scenes. And it's been a really difficult time.
Most definitely. And the challenges that you face on a day-to-day basis. Yes, and they don't realise that, some people, do they? The challenges that you face on a day-to-day basis, you know, because I think sometimes people only see what they want to see, rather than looking at the bigger picture or opening, you know, the actual book and reading the contents about somebody's life. And it's not until people actually, you know, write a book, you know, a story of their life, that people then really sort of open their eyes and understand that their pathway's not been easy. You know, they've been facing many challenges. They've gone through heartache. They've gone through pain and suffering, but they kept moving forwards and you know, believe that things will get better and have that instinct not to give up.
Right.
And I think that's so important. No matter what anyone's going through, know that there are people around you that do love you, that do care, and they do want to support you. And you're never on your own. And it's really important, you know, to allow others to support you as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have an image, Deborah, and I think the image is what we want to portray. So for me, Deborah J. Kelly is always in a ball gown. You know, she's always got the long hair, whatever. I don't look like that when I'm around the house, right? Of course I don't. And because they're looking at me and they think,
I love your dresses.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, this is the thing. And people look and they go, oh, well, yeah, you know, she's not got any problems. Look, this is what she looks like, la, 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 la. I don't realise that, I mean, I shouldn't say this really, but that a huge percentage of my dresses are from eBay, or that I wear them for publicity and then I have to give them back and things like that. So it's not like I go and spend thousands of pounds on a ball gown. I absolutely don't.
No.
But I like the way that people kind of, you know, portray me. I've always had very positive feedback, and if there's anything negative, I've never heard it, thank goodness. But you know, what I portray as Deborah J. Kelly, like this, is not the person that behind it, that, you know, that struggles to pay her mortgage, that is, you know, looking, or has had a failed marriage and is divorced, that is looking for a relationship. All of this, you know, I'm a human being. It still happens to me. But I think people look and they go, well, she doesn't have any problems. Look, so I do.
Yes. And you know, like you say, we're only human at the end of the day. You know, sometimes we do make mistakes, but it's learning from those mistakes as well. And it's just loving ourselves. I think so many people are body conscious, or like you say, you know, looking at some of the models in the magazine and they think that they're perfect, and sometimes there's airbrushing that's taken place, you know. And it's so important to learn to love ourselves, no matter what shape or size, what age we are, what we look like, you know, because I believe there's beauty within each and every one of us, you know, and just seeing that inner light and that inner beauty, and knowing, you know, your primary relationships with yourself first before anybody else. And don't let anyone try and knock your self-esteem, your self-confidence, because some people can be harsh and judgmental, and you do get trolling and bullying as well, and some people can be quite mean at times. You know, but like Paul McKenna says, normally when someone is being, you know, judgmental or mean, secretly they're inspired by you and they wish they were more like you. So, you know, if you sort of change that negative to that positive, the mind can only cope with one thought at one time anyway. So, you know, look at your own sort of belief structure, each and every one of you that's listening today, and, you know, delete all those negative comments if you've gone through bullying or trolling, and just look in that mirror and say, I am me, I'm okay, I'm a good person, and I'm going to learn to love myself, and it's okay to be me. And I think that's really important, don't you, Debs? Have you ever gone through any bullying?
It was making me think about something when you were talking, because it was a deep, you know, it's a deep subject. And I was thinking about school, and I was bullied at school. I look like a tomboy. People don't really believe when they see the pictures. They say, oh, it's not you, but I did look like a boy. I was a serious tomboy. I climbed the trees with the boys instead of like doing stuff with girls, and I got bullied. And the thing is, it's such a horrible thing. But when I look at the people now, it's almost like this role reversal. When I look at the people that were always the top ones, the top dogs at school and the bullies, right? They don't seem to have achieved very much. And then for me, and looking at some of my friends as well who were bullied, we've got right up there in you know, in the leadership of stuff. So I think sometimes, you know, the whole kind of things reverse themselves if you can deal with how you feel.
You can harness that negativity to actually spin it into a positive kind of impulse, and just go forward and think, no, I'm not going to let that drag me down. I'm going to actually achieve things I want to achieve, set those goals up, and actually go for them one by one, and you can do all sorts of things.
So do you do vision boards, Debs? Because I you know, I'm very much about positivity and believing in yourself. Do you do vision boards? Because I do a lot of life coaching with people and empowering people to believe in themselves and never give up. And, you know, I encourage a lot of my clients to do like these dream boards, vision boards, and put on there all of the things that they've been wanting to do, and to set these little goals. So, you know, it doesn't matter how big or how small. And those days that they're feeling down, I say to them, you know, look at your vision board and think, right, today, I'm not going to waste a day. I'm going to do that. You know, that whether it's a small thing or a big thing, and work towards it. And again, by the end of the year, they'd be amazed of how much they've actually achieved within that year. I mean, I do 3-year vision boards, and I normally achieve 90% of it. I suppose maybe I'm a bit of a woman on a mission to shine my light and to help those as many as I can possibly throughout that year, because I dedicate my life to be of service. So do you do very much the same, Debs, or do you just have the goals in your head that you know you want to sort of set and reach, and then work through the law of attraction like I do with manifesting things?
Deborah, I think we're onto a subject that could keep us here till midnight.
Yes.
Because I started on my spiritual journey way back.
You're spiritual like me, aren't you?
Yeah, and I had a Grand Master He stayed with me for a while. I had a Tibetan yogi. I was told to meditate, which I've done. Like he said, go home and meditate 2 hours a day. I said, are you joking? I don't even have 2 hours a day. You go home and you do it. And I've been doing it now for 30 years. I cannot get up unless I've done my meditation. And it's all about empathy. Absolutely.
Yes,
and setting goals. And so I have goals, and of course, about manifestation. We have to see how long it takes to manifest, like how powerful and strong it is. Sometimes it comes back straight away, and sometimes we have to wait for it, right?
It's synchronicity and fate, though, Debs, as well, isn't it?
But I do, and this is what I don't understand. I do have dreams, I do have aspirations, and every day I have tasks, and every day I make lists. And every day I achieve those lists. If I don't achieve them, then they get carried over to the next day. And it's all about, I guess, your dream and your visions for what you have in your life. But some people don't actually have the same ability to do that as us. No. And I've learned this. I've got people around me at the moment, and they really don't have that drive. They don't know where they want to be. They don't enjoy their job. They're going to a 9-to-5 job they hate, right? They're going home and they're saying, right, okay, I don't know what I want to do now. And I think it's very difficult if you don't have a dream and a vision. And I see, I've always had, I know where I want to go. And sometimes I'm miserable because I don't make it, right? And I think, how long have I got to wait for that? I'm 55, for goodness sake. How long is it going to take me? But I think if you have a dream, then I think you're halfway there. If you don't know what you want to do and you don't know where you are, where you want to be, then how can you manifest it?
So true.
But I think everyone deep down that they have got a dream, but sometimes they think those dreams aren't reachable as well.
Right.
And sometimes it's working on what are our strengths and what's our weaknesses. And then we can work on those weaknesses anyway, can't we? But sometimes just taking those little baby steps each day of, achieving things, then those steps get bigger and bigger and bigger. And every time that we achieve something, reward ourselves by sort of saying, I'm going to treat myself today, or congratulations, I'm proud of me. It's not being egotistical, because I think quite often people forget, to actually be proud of themselves, because quite often they seek outside recognition for praise, but you don't always necessarily get it. And, sometimes people then can get disheartened. So it's really important, each and every one of you is listening tonight, be proud of you. Be proud of where you are in your lives. Be proud of what you've achieved, what you've overcome, what you've faced, because I'm proud of each and every one of you. And I think, you're all doing amazing. So keep up the good work, most definitely.
Do you know another thing which I just wanted to add? Now, because I've had a lot of stuff, and I won't go into it, but I had some stuff in childhood that I had to deal with. And I would look in the mirror and I really didn't like who I saw. And it took me a long, long time to be able to look in the mirror and say, I love myself. And I really do. And I think this is the crux of the matter. When you look deep inside your soul, when you look at yourself in a mirror, there's nobody else, it's just you. What do you think about yourself? And I say, I absolutely love myself. And people go, oh, well, she's got a big head. No, I love myself.
No,
I love myself for everything.
Taking good care of yourself.
Every flaw I have. Yeah, my fat belly, my menopause, my wrinkles.
Nurturing you.
And I think it's really important for people to love themselves, because how can you love other people truly?
It is.
If you don't. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's true. It's loving the skin that you're in, Debs, isn't it? And know that you are lovable. But first, in order to embrace the love from those around you, you have to learn to love yourself first, beyond the ego self, and I think we need to listen more to what our hearts are saying rather than what our heads are saying half the time, because if you follow your heart and makes your heart sing, you feel so much more happier, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think so many people on that hamster wheel, like you say, are doing jobs that they don't like, and they're doing it because obviously they've got bills and mortgages and things like that to pay, but they become quite sad. Because they lose that sort of zest for life, and it's a real shame, because sometimes people are scared to jump up that hamster wheel and trying something new just in case they fail. But if you don't try, you'll never know either. So, it's so important that we try new things, because if you don't, then how are you going to know? Does that make sense?
And classically, I think, I don't know if you had parents like I do. My parents are 94 and 92. They're old school.
Oh, wow.
So for them,
bless you.
it was about having a job and having a salary. It wasn't about what makes you necessarily complete or happy or, you know, what. It was about having a proper job where you were getting a proper salary. And so we certainly have this, you know, this pressure in society to maybe have to take jobs just so we can pay our bills. But then you get stuck in a rut. And then you're scared to move out of it because you don't know what the unknown is going to hold. You're not going to have a salary. So I think it's very difficult. You know, I think we really are conditioned.
Oh, most definitely. But I think with the world changing now, and a lot of people are waking up more consciously, I'd say, you know, people are sort of thinking, well, there's more to life than where I am now in life. Does that make sense? And it's normally when you go through a traumatic sort of stage in your life and you think, what's my purpose? Why am I here? What am I meant to be doing? Then people sort of take a step back and they reevaluate their lives and their lessons and why they had to go through things and what they need to change their life in their own lives in order to find that happiness, really, which is so important. I mean, I started out in the TV entertainment industry back in 1977 and modelling, and it was my mum that actually got me into it, funnily enough. But I've also sang since the age of 3. So I've always been very much into the entertainment, you know, sort of TV, filming, acting, music industry. But my path has been tough. I've gone through a lot of challenges myself. But I've always had this inner knowing that to keep going, I'm here to make a difference, to help people. And that's where I have this sort of strong determination never to give up, really, because no matter whatever I've gone through, there's always someone else going through something more difficult than what I'm going through. So I every time, you know, turn it from a negative to a positive and think keep going, and things will get better, and then they do, and then you normally get karmically rewarded by an opportunity after coming through that pain and suffering, don't you? Something good comes in and you appreciate it, because when you go for the difficult things in life, that's when you learn the most lessons. It's not when it's all rosy in the garden.
I think
you know, and when the good things do come in, we do tend to appreciate them far more, don't we, rather than take them for granted. You know, every day is a blessing, and always be grateful for where you are and the people that are in your life and sharing your life and supporting your life, because that is just so important, isn't it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. It really does. And I mean, I what you're saying is probably would come out of my mouth. So yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. But to a certain extent as well, you know, we're talking about image and the culture now. I mean, I live in Essex, and I'm not from Essex, but I live in Essex, and I've got students coming in. Like I had one today, she's 18 and she's had the Brazilian butt lift. She's had Botox. She's had like fat transfers out of her hip. She's booked for a nose job. She's done. And it's not for me to judge. What I am going to say is that the pressure I feel on younger people now to have to be a certain way.
It's too much, isn't it? It's the way.
Is an issue, because she's beautiful, and if she wants to have it and she's safe, then that's her prerogative to do that. But she's beautiful, and I wonder where that pressure is coming from, to have to do this, to have, you know, the biggest lips, you know, this wide eyes. There's a cat eye, apparently, she was telling me, because she's an Arab. And they're quite into like the little nip and tuck.
Really?
You know, telling me about the cat eye. There's a cat eye that makes you look more attractive, and she wants to have these cat's eye. And I'm thinking, what? You want a cat's eye? I'm obviously not. I'm out of favour. I'm too old. I'm not up with all of this stuff. But yeah, so I think the pressure on younger people.
I've never heard the cat eye actually.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's to do with
it. Too much.
I think it's a cat's eye, and apparently it makes you look a little bit more kind of like this, so it's considered more like attractive and more sexy as a woman. And I'm thinking, really? What do I want to have a cat's eye so I'm considered more attractive? No, thank you. But yeah, and this is the pressure. that they're
There are
under.
some very strange trends.
That's obviously a new trend, isn't it, Debs? Because I've not heard of that. But also, any of you out there that are thinking of having some form of cosmetic surgery, you know, please, please, please make sure that they are reputable. You know, check them out beforehand, read the reviews as well, because it's so important that you go with the right person that has the right qualifications, you know. And I know there's a lot of doctors and nurses now doing these treatments. But also you do hear some real, you know, bad stories of cosmetic surgeries going wrong as well. So please check, you know, they're reputable, that they've got their insurances, read their reviews, and ask friends if they've actually been to them as well, because it's just really, it just breaks my heart when people go, expect to have a particular procedure done and then it goes wrong as well. But also they need to check if you suffer with allergies and if you're having any of these like fillers and things like that into your face, where you're going to get an allergic reaction as well. Because you see it in these TV programs, Debs, don't you, where cosmetic surgery goes wrong, and it can be quite daunting, really, you know. And like you say, a lot of the younger generation now are having it, aren't they? And it's like, you know, cosmetic surgery that's been bodged, like you say, and actually gone wrong, and sometimes can be a bit fatal at times, can it?
Yeah. I work for the series. I work for
Which is quite daunting.
You know, botched up brides and botched up bodies.
Oh, do you? Yes, I've seen that.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
do you?
Yes.
Bless you.
And I worked for quite
so
a while.
So do you do the cosmetic surgeries?
Sorry?
Did you? Sorry to interrupt. Do you do all of the cosmetic surgeries in your beauty school as well? You know, like they do, like the lip fillers, and you know, do you do any of that? And the sort of like cheeks going?
I've got a Lithuanian nurse who came in a couple of years ago, and she did a few like dermal filler courses because she's registered and part of CPD. But we haven't done it for like 2 or 3 years, and it's more like holistic beauty and MVQ.
That's the way
that we do. And I think, you know, people can kind of get obsessed about it because they do one thing and then they start noticing something else, and then they do that, and then they've got something else and something else, and it's like, where do you actually draw the line? And I don't want to look 30. I'm happy being my age. I want to keep my looks and make the most of myself. Of course I do, but you know, I have like I have all the things that a 55-year-old would have. They don't bother me enough to have to go under a knife because it's quite traumatic. It crossed my mind that, you know, you're telling people this, but my students don't take any notice whatsoever. If they want to have surgery, they're going to have surgery. It does not matter what I mean, I'm like their mum. Oh, no, but they don't pay any attention to me. If they have it in their mind that they want it, they're going to have it.
Yes, as long as they sort of, you know the risks, and they're warned of the risks and check them out as well. It's just so important, isn't it? Safety first, and do your research, each and every one of you, you know, because it would upset me to know if you've gone for a particular procedure and it's gone wrong and completely wrecked your face. You know, it's just heartbreaking, isn't it, to see? And you do see it in magazines all of the time when the cosmetic treatments have actually gone wrong. So it's just really important to each and every one of you, please check them out and make sure that they are reputable. So with regards to your beauty academy, how can people get in contact with you, Deborah, you know, to actually join your courses, please?
Thank you, Deborah. I've got a website where you can book online, which is www.angel-academy.co.uk. It's been going since 2003, and I was teaching before that, actually, in Harley Street and Redbridge College, West Thames College, goodness knows what. But yeah, so can I talk about the model diaries?
Of course you can. Sorry, model diaries. Sorry, we talk so much about the cosmetic. Yes, talk about the model diaries. Sorry,
I'm so excited.
Sorry. So tell us about the models diaries, because I know that you're going to do. Well, you're actually doing filming at the moment, aren't you? And you're writing a book.
Yeah.
I believe Steve Knight's helping you with the book, isn't he?
Yeah. He's amazing.
He is. Steve is amazing. Really, a fantastic photographer. A lovely gentleman.
Such a lovely man. And
he is. He's lovely. I've known Steve for years.
Oh, but I'm up in my game. So the Model Diaries Series 1 was a bit of a trial. I had no idea what it was going to be like. I just wanted to do it from my heart, and that's what I did. And so Series 2, we're going to have, we've got lots of different themes, which I can't talk about, and some, well, not better photographers. My goodness, they'd be down on me like a ton of bricks. Different photographers, photographers that are different in their field. So we have every like unique sort of genre. I know. And yeah, I mean, it's just so exciting. I love it. I just get it out.
It is exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
The fact
That's fantastic.
I mean, it's huge.
So where can people purchase those?
Well,
where can they get that from, Deborah?
I've got my website, which is www.themodeldiaries.co.uk, and they can go onto Amazon and type Deborah J. Kelly, and I've got, I think it's about 10 books on there now, but the Model Diaries is there because I've got therapy books as well that I'm just about to launch another one as well. I'm good at writing, you know, we must use our talents, and writing is I love writing. But yeah, so it's
fantastic.
It's been so successful, Deborah. You must come and join the next one. Just come and do it.
Oh, most of it. I was saying to Tom, funnily enough, actually, before we went live, that it'd be lovely to come up.
Yeah.
When you're actually doing a bit of filming, doing the Models Diaries, and maybe I can dress up with you. Try some of your beautiful dresses.
You can have your makeup done. You can have a designer.
Oh, it'd be so lovely to be pampered.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd love you to be part of it. Because
thank you so much. I'd love to.
This is what Model Diaries is about. You know, it's not about classic stick thin models. This is about life. This is about people in the industry, models, fashion designers. I've got actors, I've got actresses, I've got everybody in there. And you know, they represent every shape and size. Yeah, I love it. You know, it's just my expression of how I really feel in a book.
Oh, that's wonderful, Debs. And how can people actually watch the Model Diaries? Is it on TV or is it on YouTube? Where can they actually watch it? And when's it going to actually commence on TV?
It's a book.
Oh, it's a book. Oh, sorry, I didn't realise.
Yeah,
it's actual book.
Model Diaries is a book. Oh, but listen,
I thought it was going to be like a little TV show as well.
You've just inspired me now.
No, because I see a TV show, Models Diaries, where, you know, models are coming on, they're dressing up, and then you've got me and Tom coming there supporting you and interviewing everybody. And then you could have Models Diary party, launch party.
Love it.
Give you ideas now, Deb.
We are going to have a launch party, but we couldn't have it because of COVID.
Oh, bless you.
But thinking about it, actually putting it to screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. That's what I thought you was doing. That's what I said to you. I thought it was a TV series.
Thank you for that.
That would be awesome because you could go live stream. Or maybe Moinul and Salima are London TV producers. They could help you with that. Actually turn it into a TV show. I shall talk to you a little bit later about that.
Oh my God.
I see it as an actual TV show, like in the hot seat, but obviously Models Diaries TV show. I think that'd be fantastic to go alongside with your book. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it'd be amazing. I mean, we've got like diaries in there where we're following their lives, and it's about all different. I mean, I'm not going to go into detail, but some of them have really shared a lot of stuff that they wouldn't normally have shared. And I was really surprised by that because we were bringing a real, bringing that heart into. So you're looking at the photographs, but you're also empathizing with that person and you're knowing a little bit about the history of their lives. So I think I would absolutely love to put it to screen, Deborah.
There you are.
Well, I think
there's
now's
a project for you to add to your list of things to aspire to.
Anything we can do to help,
this time next year.
Yeah, most definitely. This time next year. I think maybe springtime you'll do it.
Oh, how wonderful. I'm very excited now.
Oh, you're welcome.
There you go.
I love giving people ideas.
Thank you, Deborah.
I think it'd be fantastic. And maybe eventually you could turn it into a movie, the Models Diary movie.
Oh, I'd love it.
With inspiring models where they've gone through real traumatic times in their lives. And then next minute, they followed that path and started believing in themselves and gone to like maybe a modeling casting, and then you're there casting them and you're saying, wow, you know, you're beautiful inside out, I'm going to help you on your path, and you could turn it into a movie. What do you reckon?
Love it. And the thing is, you know, my theme, of course, sorry to harp on about it, but it would be about women being beautiful at every age. It would be about talking about the industry as a 50-plus-year-old woman. It would be talking about diversity. It would be talking about things like, at the moment, I've got some girls that were in the model diaries. One was abused. One had gone through some horrible psychological stuff. One was anorexic. And I don't think people see this. I wanted to bring the personal stuff into you know, so that, you know, I always think a bit about the Bridget Jones diary, right? I know it sounds crazy, but you know how
you get the model's diary like that.
We really bonded with her, didn't we? And we wanted to see every day her diary and how she was progressing. And this is what I wanted to bring into model diaries, where they're not classic models. They're people of every diversity, culture, shape and size, but they're personal. So the next one, you can then read the next part of their diary, and the next one and the next one. So they become proper characters in the book you are bonding with.
So you could turn that book into the movie, Debs.
Thanks.
Well, I know a lot of movie directors, Deb. So if you need any help and need, you know, some movie directors and cameramen, and that, I'll be able to help you there as well.
Thanks, Debs, and we're going to get you in. You'll be playing a part, of course.
Oh, thank you.
And Tom, he's not getting away there, Lily.
I was going to say, you could have some male models, and we get Tom there, and maybe we get Liam and Simon as well, and maybe Richard help out with some of his beautiful gowns, because we did his fashion show on Sunday. Absolutely. I'm sure they would love to get involved. So between the two of us, I think we know enough people, don't we? And get them all involved. So what advice, because we've run out of time now, Debs, what advice would you give to somebody, you know, that's sort of embarking down this path, you know, in this sort of TV, model, entertainment industry, please?
Don't give up.
Yes.
Sometimes it means that you have to get a job on the side to be able to pay for it, because, of course, you know, you've got to get your show reels done, and it's so much time that you're not working. Sometimes this is what I did. You know, I had a full-time job. I was getting my salary and so forth, and then I was embarking on other things on the side, and I think sometimes we have to do that. My main thing would be, and I always say this because I really mean it from the heart, is to never give up. If you really feel that it is your destiny and it is your path, and if every day you wake up and you don't feel fulfilled until you're going to get that, then you have to continue. And it doesn't matter. I mean, there's so many. When you look at what's her name? It's a really good example. The woman that wrote Harry Potter, she was homeless, wasn't she? She was on Social Security, and she was writing her book in a cafe because it was the only place that she got to write. And I think I was reading about her the other week, and she got turned down by hundreds of publishers.
Definitely.
Wow, bless her. But she never gave up.
She never gave up, and she's like a millionaire now. So sometimes we just have to just take those knockbacks, even though they're horrible, and just believe that actually we are going to succeed. And sometimes, look at me, it didn't happen for me until I hit my 50s, really. 40s, but more so now in my 50s. Would I want to take the time back? No, because it obviously wasn't right for me in my 30s. No. You know, I obviously need to make a statement now. So just keep going. And when the right time is, then you'll get the recognition.
Yes, it's all about divine timing and fate as well, isn't it, Debs, like you say?
Always.
And just trusting and having faith. The right time will come, but keep chipping away at those dreams and never give up, and believe in you and know that you're the key. Most definitely.
I've got one little quick thing to say. I moved into this house 20 years ago, okay? When I moved in, I saw that I would have a beauty school here. It took 10 years.
Did you? Wow.
I saw it. It was in my head. I knew I had to, but I saw the vision. I saw exactly how it would be, but it took me 10 years because I had so much stuff going on in my media, right? That I never, and I forgot. And then all of a sudden, when I launched it, I was like, do you know what? I actually remember this. I actually remember moving into this place and knowing that I would have a school. So sometimes it has to be perfect timing.
It does. It's all about divine timing. I'm a true believer in that, isn't it? Because sometimes we have that sort of premonition where we see ourselves, and then years later, it's like, wow, I saw this many years ago in a dream or just a vision that I had, and look, I'm actually here now. As well, you know, and it's wonderful when it does finally happen, because it's like, gosh, I can't believe I'm finally here now, and it's almost like you're in a dream, but you're not. You're in reality.
I want my things tomorrow. I don't want to have to wait for them.
Oh, it's all about patience, Deborah, isn't it?
I want my Rolls Royce tomorrow. I've waited long enough for it. Now, I'm 55. I deserve my Rolls Royce, right?
Is that what you want, a Rolls Royce?
It would be really nice, wouldn't it, to have a driver?
Well, you might actually get somebody to pick you up in a nice Rolls Royce. How about that? And go to a lovely prestigious event. I know it's not the same. You could actually model for Rolls Royce. That would be a stepping, stone. What do you reckon? Starting point. So if Rolls Royce are watching, Debs would love to model for you. And then you can actually.
Sometimes we want something, but maybe it's not. It's not on our divine plan, right?
No,
I'm
it's
not
not.
Give up. I'm still putting my Rolls Royce on my list.
Oh, bless you. You will get there, and I'm a true believer you will fulfill everything that you set out to fulfill, Debs. You're an inspirational lady to all of us women, and I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you do, and keep shining bright and never give up, Debs.
Oh, it's lovely to speak to you too.
Oh, you too. Thank you so much. Bless you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for coming on. And just before you go, oh, you're welcome, honey. But just before you go, how can people get in contact with you if they want to book you, for an event or to do some acting or to do some modelling, please?
Well, I'm all over the place. If you Google Deborah J. Kelly, I'm all over the place. But I've got www.deborahjkelly.com. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram under Deborah J. Kelly. I'm all over the place, honestly, really. So I'm sure they'll be able to find me.
Oh, bless you. Oh, thank you so much, Debs, and good luck with what you was working on earlier. I won't say because it's all top secret, but good luck with that as well. Bless you, and we look forward to seeing you on the screen soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Keep shining bright. Namaste. Thank you. Take care. God bless. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.